Hey Canucks fans, let's talk about schedule and key dates for the upcoming hockey season. I'm Clay Emo, I'm at Canuck Clay on Twitter. I'm at Clayton Emo on Instagram. I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club. This is my Canucks take, all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Tuesday, December the 22nd. This is where you get Canucks insight that's positive and timely. I hope you're doing well. I had a great day yesterday. It was Kayla's 13th birthday, as you know. And I also appeared on the Canucks Hockey Blog C4 podcast live stream, the Christmas holiday special, among not only the four hosts of C4, but also Sat Shaw of Sportsnet 650, with Samantha Chang of the Broadcast and TSN 1040, and with Wyan Art, the stanchion of The Athletic and Canucks Army, and so on and so forth. So it was a wonderful time to hang out, the eight of us, the great eight, so to speak. We get great time chatting hockey. Because of that yesterday, and that went for a little while, and then I wanted to be with, obviously, my family for the rest of the evening, I moved my live stream from last night to tonight. So we'll see. Maybe Tuesday night's a good night. We'll find out tonight. So please join me tonight at 10 p.m. for my live stream right here on YouTube. And we'll do the usual things that we do on Monday night and that we usually do on Sunday night. But for this week only, we'll do it tonight on Tuesday night at 10 o'clock. So I hope you join me. As well, I want to give a shout out to my friend Alfred, who did a vlog on the new playoff format for this season. So I won't vlog about it now. I'll probably do it another one down the road. But I'm going to link to his vlog in my description. So if you have a chance, check out. He's a good friend of mine, a good supporter of this channel. His name's Alfred, and he did a nice, clear, succinct video. And it looks good, and it sounds good. So, excuse me, check that out. That's in the description down below. I know he'd appreciate your support. And lastly, I've locked up my next two Zoom chat guests. I'm going to record one tomorrow, so they see that on Thursday. I'm looking forward for you to hear that. And then another one for next week, the big one that I've been talking about for a while. It looks like we're finally going to be able to record that next week. And then in between those two, a Christmas song as well from Marie and me. So lots to look forward to. So speaking of looking forward to things, let's talk about some key dates and the schedule. Probably should have cleared my throat if I started this vlog, but that's okay. We'll power through. Let's talk about some key dates and scheduling for the upcoming season. It's funny, we're going to call it the 2020-2021 season, whereas all games, though, will be played in 2021. We know that the biggest thing is a 56-game schedule, and we know that it starts on January 13th, and it's going to end on May the 8th. So that's 116 days, including January 13th and May 8th, and every team's got to play 56 games. Simple math, that's barely over 2 days for every game. It's like 2.07. So in essence, on average, all of our teams are going to be playing, the Canucks are going to be playing 1 game every 2 nights on average. So obviously it's not going to go a perfect game on, no game, game on, no game. We're going to see some back-to-backs. We're going to see some 3 and 4s, but that means once in a while you'll get 2 or 3 days off between games. That's simply how it's going to work. It's not going to be a perfect rotation. So again, 56 games and 116 days, basically a game every 2 nights on average. And we know, as I mentioned yesterday, of the 56 games, because the Canucks are in the North Division where you have only 7 teams, not 8, that way there's only 6 opponents as opposed to 7. 7 opponents easy. 56 divided by 7 equals 8 games per opponent. With the Canadian division, there's only 7 teams, so you have 6 opponents. So that means, as I mentioned yesterday, you're going to have to play 10 games against 2 teams, and then 9 games against the other 4. And by all accounts, it sounds like Edmonton and Calgary will be the teams that Vancouver plays 10 times. That makes sense. They're the closest geographically. I can see Montreal, Ottawa, and Toronto also doing like a little 10-game series. So figure out what Winnipeg is going to do. But really, 10 against the 2 Albertan teams, and then 9 games against everyone else. At that point, what's the difference between 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 games? You're going to be sick of each other. There's going to be some natural rivalries. Just think of how Matthew Tkachuk and Zach Kassian go at it when Edmonton and Calgary play. I wonder if there's going to be some sort of Vancouver-Calgary rivalry with all their ex-Canucks players, or maybe a Vancouver-Edmonton rivalry. But again, it's only 1 more game. By the time you're over 6, 7, 8, 9 games, what does it matter if you're playing a team 9 times or 10 times? So let's talk about some key dates that we've heard, most of them confirmed, some rumored to be floating out there. December 28th of the season, so 2 weeks from now, the waiver, actually 1 week from now, the waiver period begins. And December 31st, New Year's Eve, training camp begins for the 7 teams that did not make the qualifying round. Those are the 3 California teams. That's Buffalo, New Jersey, Detroit, and Ottawa. So those 7 teams get to open camp December 31st. Not sure how much of an advantage is going to be. Maybe a little bit, at least get guys it won't feel as rushed for them. Then January 3rd, training camp opens for the other 24 teams. And January 13th is the start of the season. Goes all the way to May 8th, but before that, April 12th, so about a month before the end of the season, is going to be the expected trade deadline date. So that's a date to keep an eye on, April the 12th. And then if May 8th is the end of the regular season, usually on a Sunday, then May 11th will be the start of the playoffs. And that'll go to July 15th. Playoffs always takes about 2 months. And then they'll be saying mid-July. So we'll say July 15th for now because we know NBC's got to have the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs wrapped up so they can concentrate on the 2021 Summer Olympics from Tokyo. So then if July 15 is the end of the season or thereabouts, then July 17 or so, you're going to have to, teams are going to have to submit their expansion list for the Seattle expansion draft. July 21st will be an expansion draft. July 23rd, July 24th, 2 days later will be the actual entry draft. And then July 28th will be the free agent frenzy. So a lot of dates there. But I think the main thing is for a lot of these things, because the season, you can think of basically everything being bumped a month later, for more or less. It works toward the start of the playoffs instead of the end, the second week of April. It's now the second week of May. You can think of free agency. It's usually July 1. It's going to be July 28 to August 1 around there. You think of the draft. It's usually around June 20, 21, 22, 23. Now it's July 21, 22, 23. The trade deadline, usually first, second week of March. Now it's the first, second week of April. So when all else fails, kind of look at it like that. There's going to be a month. Things are going to happen a month later than usual. And you just start with the playoffs, right? May to July instead of April to June. And then you can use that as your guide, how everything is basically a month later. But the main thing is that the games start on January 13th. They end on May the 8th. And Vancouver, like every other team, has to fit in 56 games over those 116 days, 1 game every 2 nights. Okay, Canucks fans, I've laid out a bunch of dates. What's your first impression? When you hear 56 games in 116 days, do you say, wow, that's awesome as a fan? And we haven't even talked about where the Canucks are going to play. We won't know that for another week. But as a fan, you're like, well, that's really good. That's 1 out of every 2. I can handle that. Do you worry about the physical and mental strain it's going to put on players? Are you worried about injuries? Or do you think this is just kind of what we have to do because it's a strange season and we know that the NHL so badly wants to get back to a regular schedule starting with the 2021-2022 season? So some thoughts that you can talk about in the comments below. And one other thing, when it comes to the 56 games, I'm going to try and do post-game live streams for as many of them as I can. I had a lot of fun doing that during the playoffs. They might not be an hour long, but maybe half an hour long, a few minutes after the game ends. So again, post-game live streams for me for this season. And unless I'm bowling or unless I'm at church, those are usually 2 of the things that I do at night. And depending on early game, late game, weekend, all those things. But I'm going to do my best to do post-game live streams for as many of the games as I can, along with my regular live streams, my Zoom chats, and my daily content. So I'm looking forward to a really fun season, a really fun year. Going to spend the next week or so between now and the new year looking at ways to beef up my YouTube channel and make it even better. So thanks for all your support as always, and I hope you'll continue supporting me starting tonight with my live stream at 10 p.m. But for now, leave a comment below. Tell me about these dates. Tell me about the compressed schedule. How are you feeling just in terms of things overall? I'll read, react, and reply. Subscribe if you like to. Like this video if you like to. Stay safe, stay healthy. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Enjoy the day. God bless, and go Canucks go.